Hi, this is Brandon Moon with Moonlit Fly Fishing. Want to welcome you to Fly Tying Night tonight. We don't want to take too long getting started, but we want to introduce you. We're going to tie a parachute PMD pattern. Real basic pattern, but super effective and looks really cool. The parachute rides low in the water, making it an effective dry fly and a more natural, realistic pattern as well. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and put the hook in the vise. The hook we're using today is the Moonlit Premium Tagata ML102. We're tying in a size 16 today. Tie this in a size 14 through 18. The thread we're using is Classic Wax 12-aught Primrose from Seer Fly. You're going to start that about 3/4 of the way on that hook shank, so really roughly about a good hook eye length behind, and you're going to lay a nice smooth thread base down. I used the tag end to help create a nice smooth underbody, and I left that nice long tag end. We're going to take a small little clump of medium done CDL. You can use rooster fibers from your dry fly hackle as well. We're just going to secure that down roughly about the length of the hook shank. We'll secure it down going forward, where we'll take and trim that out. We're just going to snip out those tip end fibers there at that tie-in point and just finish covering and securing that up. I'm going to take and create a nice parachute here with some Seer Fly medium done poly yarn, and I'm putting it at that tie-in point roughly about 3/4. I'll go lay it across and go over the top 2, maybe 3 times, then in front 2 times, pull it up and go behind it 2 more times, and that's just going to kind of lock that in. Now I'm going to pull it up and wrap around it to create my post. You don't want to pull too tight because you'll pull that right off that post. You can see I'm just going to wrap this up just a little ways up this post so that I get a nice surface area to wrap my hackle up and secure it down. Slow is always the best policy with parachute posts so that you don't get too fast. You can see there's just a really small post there. Now we're going to create a body taper going rearward on this fly. If you've got any fibers that are kind of in the way, just lick your fingers and use the wetness on your fingers to pull them out of the way. We'll go back towards the tail of this. I'm going to wrap underneath 2 or 3 times. I always do stop just about a wrap ahead of where my final spacing is going to be so that I can create a nice good body taper as well. Now I'll go forward and backwards about 2 to 4 times depending on the size of fly. And this is just going to give me a nice even taper to this pattern. A PMD is going to be a slim bodied fly, so you don't want to bulk that up too much, but a little bit of a taper is always good. I'll half hitch that now right there and take a bronze alcohol marker, and I'm going to take that tag end and I'm just going to mark that with the bronze alcohol marker or a artist marker. You want the alcohol so that it dries and doesn't bleed. Once I've got that done, I'm going to take and use the rotary feature. I'm going to go up underneath the tail and now I'm going to do some open spiral wraps using my rotary feature on my vise. Get those fibers out of the way one more time. And this is going to give me nice, good, clean, symmetrical rib spacing on this fly body. And you can go back and fix it. As you can see, I'm fixing this just a little bit just to get it to where I want it to be. You don't have to be so meticulous, but I always like it to look the way I want it to look when I'm done tying it. We'll just take and secure that tag end of thread off now. And this is just going to secure that down, and then we'll trim it out. Over the top and in front always locks it in place. Razor blade's my favorite. Trim that out. Now I've got a nice clean body. My thorax is in place, proportioned because of where I started my thread. I'm going to take my medium done whiting hackle. I've got the stems preened and ready to go. I'm going to stand that up, and I'm going to catch those fibers just a little bit. This can be the tricky part. I want the shiny part facing me, and I've got about a quarter of a turn of fibers preened extra, so when I wrap this, it's going to give me a nice clean start. So I'm going to wrap this so that that shiny side again is facing me, the tire. Wrap that up to the top there. Now I'm going to take my Kapok dubbing, and I don't need very much. Just a small amount here is going to give me everything that I need. Kapok is very, very fine. It's finer than super fine. So I'll put a little bit of dubbing on here, where I'm going to then wrap my thorax. And I always try and make sure that I start in the back and then work forward and backwards, giving me a nice, good, clean, even thorax. There you go. Now that we've got that done, we'll take and wrap that right around there, about 3 turns, where I'm now going to capture that hackle fiber with 1 wrap over the top of it. I'm going to take some super glue, put a little glue on that thread, and then I'll quickly take and secure it down, finish binding down that feather. 1 wrap more over the top, then I'm going to pull the feather up and wrap underneath of it. This helps keep me from trapping any kind of hackle fibers. We'll trim that out with our razor blade, then I'll take the hackle fiber and pull it down over the top of the razor blade to trim it out. Pull up my parachute post, trim it down. Now you've got a nice clean parachute PMD. Thank you for watching. Please do us a favor. Make sure that you leave us a comment, like the video, subscribe, and the bell to receive future notification. We appreciate your support. Have a wonderful day.